Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome to Therapy. Today we're going to talk about DBT Distress Tolerance Skills. Now, when do you use distress tolerance skills? Well, obviously when you're in distress, when you're in overwhelm, when your brain has kind of shut off the problem solving portion and you're just into pure emotion and reactivity. So distress tolerance skills help because they get us into a little bit calmer state of mind where we can problem solve and figure out how to take care of ourselves or figure out what the situation is going to require of us. So it helps because it gets us out of this spinning mind, and that's what we want to do. We don't want to react from our pure emotion mind. We want to react from our wise mind, which is a combination of our emotion mind and our best thinking mind. So some of the distress tolerance skills that DBT offers are: one is soothing with the senses, and you may have done a 5-4-3-2-1 distress tolerance skill before. So you're in overwhelm, you need to calm down, and so you know that about yourself, and you are going to practice just connecting to your senses. So while you're really ramped up, this is hard to do, so it takes practice, and it takes being very kind to yourself as you practice this, because it isn't going to be about being perfect, is it? It's going to be about just doing the best that you can do. So overwhelm mind, you notice it and you decide, I'm going to connect to my senses. What do I see right now? And begin labeling what you see, what you hear, what you touch. What does your skin feel like with the air, the air touching your skin, or what does your skin feel like underneath your clothes? What do your feet feel like in your shoes? What do you taste in your mouth? Maybe you taste, some morning coffee or the lunch you just had. It can take some focus to get in touch with what you taste. So that's a good one to always attend to when you're doing the senses. What do you smell? And that can be another one where it's not obvious. And we're going to use smell not as what you do like, what you don't like, and shut off one or the other. We're going to take in everything you see, everything you smell, everything you touch, etc., and accept it. Accept it non-judgmentally as much as you possibly can. So that is one way that we tolerate our distress and begin to calm down, is to get out of emotion mind and into our senses. Another DBT thing that you can use is called accepts. So what does accept stand for? Accepts is the acronym for activities. So finding some activity that you can do. Maybe you have a hobby that you enjoy. Maybe you can start, coloring, doing jumping jacks, cleaning a room. So you notice you're in, emotion overwhelm, and you begin to do intentionally this activity. So I want to say about distress tolerance skills that these aren't about avoiding our problems forever. These are just about temporarily getting to a place where we can solve them into a calmer mind. And there's a big difference between avoiding and intentionally distracting ourselves. So A is activities, C is contributing. Is there something you can offer the world, even in a small way? Can you contribute? Send a card to someone who is struggling. Can you volunteer somewhere where your interests and your skills could meet? Something that is possible in this moment. It is difficult in overwhelm to contribute, but even the act of thinking about wanting to give to others what others may need right now, without self-judgment, without beating oneself up, but just think about what you have to offer, can bring us out of our distress. Comparisons is the next C. So maybe comparing yourself to another time where you felt worse, and now, you're upset right now, but it's not as bad as that other time. Or you can think about what you want to be grateful for because you do have some things in your life that are better than some other people have. So again, this isn't about bringing on guilt. Oh, why am I so upset because I at least have a place to live? It's not to be used that way. Comparisons are to be used to help us refocus on what we do have and what is good in this moment. So that's how we use the second C, comparisons. The next is E, emotions. And the way we'll use emotions is to find a competing emotion. So if we're really sad, maybe we'll put on some really fun, joyful music or a funny movie. If we're angry, maybe we'll put on something that makes us sad and that makes us kind of in that more thoughtful, deep state of mind. So find an emotion that's not the overwhelming one that you're in, and see if you can find something that will bring you, whether it be what you read, what you listen to, what you watch, and try and find a different emotion than the big one that's there right now. The next one is P, pushing away. And how we use P is we just say no. We're not doing this. We're not going to let these thoughts continue to spin, and we're not going to let this overwhelming moment take charge of our life. So oftentimes the simplest thing you can think to do with these activities is the best. So I just like to say no or stop. You know how you might talk to a toddler who's having a temper tantrum. Well, when we get in those moments of distress, our brain is kind of having a temper tantrum. So we just say stop or no, not okay, and we push it away. Now again, this is not about avoiding our emotions or judging them as bad. It's just saying, I'm not going to entertain this temper tantrum right now. We're going to be doing something else that's more helpful for us. And then we find that other thing to do that is more helpful. So that's the P. The T is thoughts. So finding some thoughts, we get into a different part of our brain when we start to engage some more like skillful thinking. So for instance, doing difficult division problems, when we try to name all the states in alphabetical order, when you just start counting, maybe by twos or by threes, something that is a little bit of a challenge, but gets out of the deep, intense emotions that are causing us distress and into our thinking. And not thinking that's about the pain that we're in and why we're in that pain, but it's kind of a more analytical type of thinking. And again, you can Google DBT and it has so many other ideas on how to work with thoughts. And the last one, S, is sensations. So safely, something that will not cause any harm, we get out of our emotions and into our sensations. Many of my clients like to wear like a hairband, and when we start to really let the emotions control us, the client will take the hairband and just snap the wrist. It's a little bit sharp, it's a little bit painful, but it's not going to cause permanent harm. And it's a reminder, come back. Holding on to ice, taking a really hot or really cold shower, tasting something that's strong like citrus in your mouth, doing squats, doing jumping jacks, something intense that's physical, anything you can think of to be in your emotions. That's why some people like aromatherapy, is they really just get into the beautiful smell and out of the pain of what's happening in their brain. So that's S for sensations. So accepts, wise mind accepts. You can watch this video again and write down each letter of the acronym and what it stands for, and then maybe think of your own ideas. And I would love to hear in the comments what your ideas are for getting out of distress and into your wise mind, or at least just taking the edge off, because that's what we're going for, is not to suddenly feel blissed out and joyful. I don't think that's going to happen when we're in intense distress, but can we take the edge off a little bit where it doesn't run away with us and we start to do things that are harmful to ourselves or to other people. So remember that using any of these mental health skills are about improving your life, getting more, so you have the energy and the time to put thought into the things that give you meaning and help you connect in a healthier way to your outside world. Please leave me any questions you may have about DBT, Distress Tolerance Skills, and I look forward to seeing you next time in the next video. Thanks for watching and be well.